Am I audible? I'm sharing my screen. Okay. My screen is visible. Please respond. Okay. Just put a message in the group that class will start soon. Okay. So we discussed about that others will join. So we discussed about longitudinal stress and hoop stress. Okay. Now same with similar to stress will have strains also. Strains and change in dimension in this. Uh, so the change in length. The change in length of a thin cylinder can be determined from the longitudinal strain. Sorry. So just like stress, we have strains also. Okay, and longitudinal strain has formula of 1 by E sigma L, that is longitudinal stress minus Poisson's ratio. So E is your Young's modulus, this mu is your Poisson's ratio. So for the longitudinal strain, we have formula 1 by E equals to sigma L, which is longitudinal stress, minus Poisson's ratio times of hoop stress. Okay, this is the formula, general formula you have to remember for longitudinal strain. Now change in length, we know del L equals to longitudinal strain. Change in length means strain by change in length by original length, right? We know that change in length del L is nothing but change in length. Your strain is nothing but change in length by original length, right? Your change, your strain is change in length by original length. So if you multiply this, let me annotate with another color. You know that strain is nothing but change in length by original length. Now for the, if you want to know change in length, so what will happen? Strain into L, right? So you know strain is your nothing but 1 by E sigma L minus Poisson's ratio into sigma theta. So this is your strain into original length, they have multiplied with L. So now put the value of sigma L and sigma theta in this formula, you'll get a formula. So this is your final formula. So your longitudinal strain, that is change in length, will be Td by 4Te 1 minus 2V into L. Okay. So you have found out the change in length. What will be the new change in length in a pressure vessel when you applied a longitudinal stress and hoop stress? When there will be when hoop stress and longitudinal stress will applied at the pressure vessels, what will be the change in length? So this will be the change in length. Okay, this formula is important. You can mark it. You get numericals also. So this is our formula to find out the change in length. Next, then let's move to change in diameter. So when hoop stress and longitudinal stress will applied to the pressure vessels, there will be change in diameter also. First, there will be change in length. We saw the formula. Then there will be change in diameter also. The diameter of the vessels is also changed. So in the same way as above, we can determine the change in diameter from strain acting on the diameter, so which is also called, it will be called as diametral strain, which is change in diameter by original diameter. We can find the change in diameter by considering circumferential change. The stress acting on the circumference is the hoop or some circumferential stress sigma theta, giving rise to circumferential strain, which is epsilon theta. Okay, so the change in this, as you we have discussed that hoop stress will try to increase the diameter. So this hoop stress will try to change the diameter of the vessels. So your change in, so, and that depends upon the circumference. The circumference will change, right? The diameter means it will change the circumference, basically it will affect the circumference of the vessel. So change in circumference is strain into original circumference. So strain, we have assumed circumferential strain as epsilon theta into original circumference is nothing but its perimeter, which is pi d, and change in circumference we have assumed del c. The new circumference is given by pi d. Pi d was original plus this change in circumference, which is pi d epsilon naught. Pi d is common. I have taken out the pi d, 1 plus e naught. So our new circumference is pi d 1 plus e naught or e theta. And it can be seen that this describes the circumference of a circle of diameter. Okay, this is the basically if you divided by this d 1 plus e theta will nothing but your new diameter of the circle. So change in diameter is de. Change in diameter is, you can take d epsilon naught, and new diameter you can take 1 plus e naught, just like here. Original was new circumference was pi d 1 plus e theta, and original was, it's your only pi d. So there is a difference of 1 plus e theta. Same, the circumference and diameter is the same. So d 1 plus e theta and d e theta. So you can find the strain change in diameter by original diameter. So it is nothing but e theta, thus demonstrating that the diametric strain is equal to the hoop strain. We have assumed that your diametric strain is nothing but your hoop strain. So change in diameter will be del d will be d e theta, and this e theta is nothing but 1 by e sigma e theta minus Poisson's ratio into sigma L. This is the formula basically. You have to remember. Okay, this part. So put the value of sigma theta and sigma VL, you will get this value. Change in diameter was d e theta, and e theta is nothing but 1 by e sigma theta minus Poisson's ratio into sigma L. Put the values, you will get this value. So go through the derivation, you will understand, nothing much to worry. Then with the diameter, with the length, there will be one more change, which is your internal volume. Your volume will also differ. Okay, same way, change in volume will volumetric strain into original volume. Volumetric strain is sum of three mutually perpendicular direct strains. Volumetric strain is EL plus 2 theta E theta. EL we have gone from we got from earlier. It is EL we got EL from this part, 1 by EL, 1 by E sigma L minus V sigma theta. That is, they have put it here, plus 2 of E theta. We got E theta as 1 by E sigma theta minus VL. So put this values, put all the values here, you will get sigma change in volume. So basically there are three types of strain in thin cylinders due to hoop stress and longitudinal stress. There will be sigma V, then there will be one sigma D, del D, del V, and one more, there is one del L. Okay, you have to remember these three formulas to solve some numericals. See the question. A thin cylinder 60 mm internal diameter is given, length is given, thickness is given, internal pressure is also given, and along with that E and V is given. They simply ask hoop stress. So hoop stress is PD by twice theta. Put the values, you will get the value. Next, they have asked longitudinal stress. Longitudinal stress is PD by 4 theta. Put the values, you will get the answer. Next, they have asked you to find out the change in length. Same way, you should know the formula. What is the formula for change in length? simply put all the values in the formula and they got the value. Change in diameter, put all the values, you'll get the answer. In this, they've asked you to calculate the hoop stress and longitudinal stress. Okay, they have given you change in change in diameter or something. 1 meter long thin cylinder has internal diameter, thickness is given, internal volume is given. Okay, these values, this delta V, all these values will be given to you. They have asked you to find out hoop stress and longitudinal stress. Okay, so see, from this equation you have found, from this equation they have founded the pi intensity, and from d and t is given to you. See what first, see what they have asked you to find out, hoop stress. So to find the hoop stress, what are the factors you will need? Pi, d by d and t. D and t is given to you, you need pi. So how can you find the pi value? You can find out from del v, because the other values are given to you. So you can find the pi from this value. So after finding the pi, you can find out the hoop stress. So if you found out the pi, you can also find longitudinal stress. That's how you have to work. Okay. Next, let's move to thick cylinders. So we have discussed what are the thin cylinders and what are the thick cylinders. Okay. So in this section, we'll see analyze cylinder cells whose wall thickness is large, such that they can no longer be considered as thin. After listening the assumption involved, we shall derive expression for the stresses in thick cylinders. We shall then work out related problems. Okay. So in thin cylinders, we have assumed that dyed cone, plastic bottles. So those where the thickness will be very less compared to their diameter. So those were the examples of thin cylinders. In thick cylinders, you can take the example of the pipe, where thickness is very large. Here, the diameter thickness ratio is less than 20. There was conditions earlier. It was, what was the conditions for this? May not want. I was good. Am I audible? Am I audible? Please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Got muted? Got muted? Okay, okay. So see, thick cylinder is cylinder whose wall thickness is greater than 1 by 20 times of its internal diameter. That means your thick cylinder is the opposite of thin cylinder we have discussed. Your thickness will your thickness will greater than 1 by 20 times of its diameter, internal diameter. Okay, this one. Earlier thickness was less than 1 by, earlier for thin cylinder thickness is less than d by 20, but for thick cylinders your thickness will be more than d by 20. Okay, that is the main difference between thick and thin cylinders. So assumption is the material of the cylinder is homogeneous and isotropic. That means all over the material, what the whole material is of same material. This is the cylinder. Homogeneous means all the whole material is made up of same material, and isotropic. Whatever be the stress, all the forces and stresses or whatever the properties, all will be in one direction. Isotropic means the properties are in one direction, not in other direction. It get elastic. See this word, homogeneous and isotropic. Plane section perpendicular to the longitudinal axis of the cylinder remain plane even after application of internal pressure. This implies that the longitudinal stress is same at all points of the cylinder. That means your section will remain same when you applied any load or not, or any pressure. Okay, longitudinal strain, this means this assumption means longitudinal strain is same at all points of the cylinder. The longitudinal stress will find out, will see that at every point of the cylinder it will be same. All fibers of the material are free to expand or contract independently without being confined by the adjacent fibers. So whatever, all the fibers in the material, all the fibers of the material, they are independently free to expand. Okay, so see, basically thick cylinders, basically in thick cylinders, your radial stress and hoop stress. Hoop stress is along the circumference and radial stress is along this perpendicular. So this rate, we discussed this thick cylinder basically on Lami's theorem. There is one theorem which is called Lami's theorem. Okay, so Lami's theorem generally describes that this bursting force. Bursting force means when the fluid tries to come out from the cylinder. So the force, this fluid pressure. Suppose this is the top view. Okay, this pressure is acting. This is the wall, this is the wall of the cylinder. Okay, so there will be one hoop stress, circumferential stress, and there one will be one bursting force. This bursting force is radially. See, these are the radially. Fluid is trying to come out from the section. Okay, this it is applying force in this direction, and the circumferential force on the this surface, it is trying to resist that force. So this is the bursting force. The relation between this bursting force and this hoop stress is described by Lami's theorem, or you can say Lami's theory. Getting my point? In the thick cylinder, as the thickness matter, right? Thick cylinder means your thickness is more than your internal diameter. So your thickness depends on this bursting force. Your bursting force is applied in the radial direction, and this hoop stress is acting as resisting force. This hoop stress is trying to resist this bursting force. So we have relation, we have formula for bursting force, 2L dx plus x dp. Basically we have formula, this one. If you neglect the second order, when you solve that, you will get this part. Okay, so this is the bursting force minus 2L px. Px is your radial force. Okay, along, they have considered a section here. They have considered a section. What we do generally, suppose this is our area. We have to find, this is our irregular shape area. If you want to find the stress in the whole area, what you do? You take a small part, just like dx, right? You take a small part dx, then you integrate that part from 0 to whatever till the area, suppose A. Then you get this, whatever you get the stress after integrating, you get the stress on the whole area. You know this part, right? To find out a stress on, we can easily find out stress in specified structure. Then just like square, circle, but for the irregular surface you cannot find the stress, right? So what you do, you take out a section like dx, you consider a small section, and you integrate the whole area to get the stress over the whole section. In the same way, what we are doing, we are taking a section dx, they are taking a section dx, and they are representing radial stress as px, okay, tangential stress as dx. So this is the formula for bursting force, 2L px dx plus x dt, and the resisting force is twice into dx L fx. Fx is your resisting force, bursting force. Dx is the area. Dx is a small area. Px is the radial force. So bursting force has the formula of this one, and the force which is resisting this bursting force is this one. So we can basically will equate. We have to equate because we are trying, this px bursting force is trying to explode and this force is trying to resist it. So these should be in balance, otherwise it will be burst out. So we have equated, we got this one. Considering the assumption that the longitudinal strain is constant, we can write sigma L E minus Vfx by E plus Poisson's ratio Px E equals to constant. That is, whatever be the longitudinal stress, that is our constant. As longitudinal strain is constant, sigma L by E is constant. So this part becomes constant. Thus, grouping all the constant terms to the right hand side, we can write Fx minus Px. This Fx minus Px, if we take to this part, this Fx will get positive and this Px will get negative. E are constant values, so we are neglecting that. So Fx minus Px equals to some constant, say twice of A. Substituting for Fx, we are substituting the value of Fx with this. We can substitute the Fx value from this part, Px from this part. From this part we can substitute Fx value. So replacing, after solving, we are getting this part. Now we can integrate. After integration you will get this term, Fx equals to b by x square a plus 2 plus a. So this expression for the radial stress, and so this is the relation between radial stress and hoop stress, are called Lamés expression. The constant A and B will be found out from the known external pressure and internal pressure. So this is the relation for Lamés expression. Go through these definitions once. If you don't understand, then we'll talk about this in the next class when we'll study the compound stress. Okay. So basically we saw in this section, we saw about the strains. The strains due to hoop stress and longitudinal stress, which is change in length, change in diameter, and change in internal volume. Right? We saw what are the changes. Hoop stress and longitudinal stress. What strains it can produce? It can produce strain in its volume, its diameter, and its in length. Right? Then we did some numericals. These are the direct numericals. They have asked you to find out just using the formulas. So go through this formulas, using numericals. Then somewhere what they will do, they will ask you to find out the internal values. So they will give you other values and they will might get confused with how to find. So first see what are the values they are asking for, and suppose they have asked you to find out hoop stress and longitudinal stress. So for that two values, what value you need? D and T is given to you, you need Pi. So find out the Pi from the values given to you. So after finding Pi, you can find hoop stress and longitudinal stress easily. Okay, and this is the relation for thick cylinders. When a cylinder is considered thick, if the ratio of inner diameter and this longitudinal diameter is, the thickness is more than 20. And this thick cylinders, you can take an example of all the long pipes. Okay, then big storage tanks, you can, where the thickness of the cylinder is more compared to its diameter. Okay, so for this six cylinder, we generally have Lehm's theory. So Lehm's theory what says that the bursting force, the bursting, it gives the relation between this radial force and this uh, circumferential forces with thickness. Okay, the relation between this radial forces with the relation of this radial forces and this circumferential stress with thickness. So what we have to do, we have to equate this radial stress with the hoop stress, circumferential stress. So and why we have to equate both two? Because if these stresses doesn't get balanced, then your structure or your pressure vessel will fail. So they have derived. I'll try to find a easy derivation so that you can understand. This one is also easy, but I'll try to find out more easy version for you, and I'll send to you. Okay, that's all for today. You can write your roll numbers in the chat box, and what notes I have left to share with you. Please respond in write in the chat box. What notes I have to share. Last, what notes I have given to you. Someone please tell me what notes I am left to share.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
you have shared till lecture 7.
till lecture 7 means that means I have shared method of
Uh,
joints.
yeah.
That means I have to share method of section and today's class, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. In
Okay.
the class.
Okay. Yeah, I'll share one more. I'll share the method of sections and then I'll share this second cylinder with the numericals also. Go through the derivations, okay? Go through the derivations once. General trigonometry and general integration derivations. Nothing. Go through the derivation once. Any issues, contact me. Go through the notes and please make a correction on that assignment, okay? Please make a correction that on the other part it will be that at C support it will be your this one. At C support it will be a roller support. Okay. Okay. Anyways,